After 7 years of talking, there may now finally be some action. There's a new sense of optimism at the WTO meeting in Geneva that a free trade pact is within reach. Many nations still have major reservations, both in Europe and in developing countries, but they'll now work through the draft plan until Wednesday. Now, the proposed changes include cutting European and US farm subsidies by up to 80%. The compromise is that developing countries must open their markets to imports of manufactured goods, removing the so-called import shields. Now, it's by no means a done deal, but even India has softened its hard line, saying that there are areas of consensus. And from Delhi, Todd Baer reports.
Agriculture trade analysts like Bhaskar Goswami have watched the world trade talks so closely.
It has been very, very hectic. Again,
he has crunched the numbers, analyzed each crop, and monitored every report.
India probably has the biggest stake at the WTO negotiations in agriculture. As far as the agreement on agriculture is concerned, we are right now debating and negotiating the livelihoods of close to 60% of this country's population.
The key issue at the talks is global farm subsidies, or large amounts of money countries like the US and others in the European Union give to their farmers. Developing nations like India, China, and Brazil argue high dollar subsidies create an unfair playing field when it comes to selling crops.
To ask an Indian farmer to compete with American and Australian companies is not possible. Agriculture in India is not a profession, it's a lifeline for farmers.
The issue has caused a stalemate for negotiators representing 30 nations at the trade talks in Geneva, a standoff that comes down to simple numbers. The U.S. currently gives their farmers $7 billion a year to make ends meet. They want permission to increase this by nearly 100%. The European Union gives its farmers $47 billion a year. They want to protect this right. But developing nations want the current dollar amounts to be capped or even lowered.
It is actually very sad to observe not only that these nations are unwilling to give, but also that our trade negotiators who are representing our farmers are not really being very effective.
For India, the debate can easily be broken down into simple terms. Most of the shirts here in this market are made with Indian cotton, but if global farm subsidies continue at their present level or increase, agriculture experts here say these shirts will soon be made with imported cotton. Undoubtedly something that will cause more despair for millions of farmers in India. In the central state of Maharashtra, officials have seen an alarming increase in the number of farmer suicides, most blamed on pressures of competing in the global market.
The negotiators, if they are unable to protect the interests of the millions of Indian farmers whom they are representing at Geneva, I think it's about time that the negotiators should come back to India.
But Bhaskar Goswami knows this is unlikely to happen. He realizes the Indian government is under enormous pressure, and he fears negotiators will cave in and compromise. Todd Baer, Al Jazeera, Delhi.